Hello, YouTube, Facebook. Facebook has been involved with behavior crimes, with identity thefts, of missed natures with people in town that don't even know each other, tied to their roles with database crimes, originally and still, which maintains live progressions from the databases. So we have interbranch, forging names, switching names, roles with a whole bunch of natures of crimes, excuse me, with online media. Social media was through administrations, crimes with the FBI. I don't know if that's Facebook, but they're recorded criminally involved with the FBI. With sequence shifts with them, crime acts rolls with a whole bunch of federal criminals and their family members tied to them in cases personally criminally involved with them leading up to it, and then in those cases and against a whole bunch of people and against me and a whole bunch. They're using crime methods, speaking through family members criminally. They recorded themselves doing that and attaching everyone to fake conversations, pretend I told on things through others. In other words, they're forcing people to speak about things through others so they could criminally pretend to misinterpret people and write lies because they wrote in the past through times they've been adding little kids to fake locations, fake relationships to others, spreading lies with overt criminal enterprises through interbranch family members in collusion with them and with all private tied to them, like sustained on off CCSU with criminal justice. Crime acts rules with a Phil Claw, a whole bunch of people tied to them, associated with foreign and domestic military, associated with Middletown campuses, associated with the school that who's the guy who did Alexander Hamilton. Now, see, these are people involved with natures of crime, methods of crime, behavior crimes. Now they need to pretend other. See, they're preventing mandated law because of the roles of the various natures of courts recorded criminally involved with them, criminally foreign influenced, juxtaposed with a whole bunch of other nations like Russians, them recorded misprision pretending to be about with the remote recorded misprision confessing, recording, and demonstrating, which is crime acts roles with Russians and Russians against Russians. And that maintained by them maintaining the quality of a factual nature of each age simultaneously, sickly, incapable of discerning, of defending its behavior, justification, treatments regarding values of the law and fact treatment nature values, sequence treatment nature values. So we have sequence shifts in evidence crimes, identity theft crime methods and motivations, natures and roles and uses, needs and interests of uses of lawyers, fake sides of fact treatment nature, types of law treatments that are keeping maintained fake sides of correlation nature, fake middles. Um, in other words, in keeping grouped life progression, cover up nature needs, child abused, elderly abused simultaneously by the same clicks, valuing it because of the way they're doing it by valuing naive positive value, and then they're exploiting that from sustained off the ground of education and sustained on off campuses and layers, maintain criminally foreign influence. We have the shared policing of stores and of colleges and of undercover of police forms, identities of the law, all incapable of speaking for it because they're recorded standing live progression cover up natures, offensively stealing the identities of others. So we have natures of election crimes in Weathersfield, Connecticut, intercities, interstates, but intercities from Weathersfield, Connecticut, on off the state judicial branch office, on off the state prison offices, involved with houses that are involved with crimes with grammar schools through time, involved with people with CCSU, involved with crimes through time, and with a whole bunch of people with medical corruption, crime acts roles, and natures of identity theft, fake news crime acts roles, real estate crimes with interbranch cliques, foreign and domestic military, intercampuses crime acts cliques with what they call the intelligence community, identities of value in relationship to contrast that value roles with the same methods of crime that are methods of lying for reasons maintain criminally foreign influence. Like, for example, sensibilities with the values of Facebook. and of the FBI, recorded misprision, identity theft clicks, evidence crime predators, and criminal roles with criminal uses of pretending not to realize things were proven that they know were, and their roles through time spreading lies with over federal verbal crimes, not by accident, with overt criminal enterprises right through the same interbranch families criminally involved with campuses in Weathersfield through time, like a former Mayor Gold. Other ones, I don't know their names, associated with a Fianza family, associated with WFSB, with Fox Connecticut News, other Connecticut media like New Britain Herald, associated with, other media associated with on and off the FBI in New Haven, criminally involved with database crimes, criminally involved with streams of and going into courts, and with medical corruption associated with these like triage places, and like schools with psychology, like Yale, like UConn. UConn is involved with a whole bunch of criminals and crime acts and crime natures and physical delusions with psychologists, foreign and domestic, military, foreign and domestic. This has the people stacking in VAs and the means to afford things for them. For example, the means things to afford for everyone real healthcare things has that maintained self-value criminally foreign influence because they have the behavior of each as a victim predator, raised child abuse branches, sick predators, the same way the overt criminal enterprises are recorded needing to hide the same finite, active, and progressive lies, sequence shifts, styles, and styles forced by nature itself, and identity thefts, natures of identity thefts. These are values bonded by logic's actual value, which is a bonded self generation of value. This is how we are gaining value. Not a doctor. I'm going to show you the recorded physical delusions juxtaposed with the criminal foreign influences of a whole bunch of nations shared for sick at trade center agreement levels tied to the states and areas, intercities of modern nations, sickly distinctly, but sickly non-distinctly as well, especially with psychology, recorded delusions, but used all kinds of criminal ways. A whole bunch of people will associate with the Trade Center, associate uses of victims in various natures of sick crimes, that they're also using them to further those same crimes, to further how they had roles with such, because of how they're using human fact sheet in nature, especially regarding the church's roles with the courts involved with child sex offenders through time, child medical offenders through time, identity theft crime acts, criminal uses of databases. There are people associated with the Delafair family, associated with fire campuses, with a whole bunch of other people, with a Inspector Mike, and with a whole bunch of people tied to a bunch of people with the name Smith's family involved with proven child sex offenders, further recorded crimes with them, with judges, and with people associated with a Dr. Zeman, crimes with a Leahy family before that, and a whole bunch of other people with forging names and switching names, drug crime roles with judges for various natures of courts, crime acts with databases, crime acts with evidence reception from their live progressions from this prison criminality. A whole bunch of colleagues involved criminally together with uses of databases. There are crime roles with overt drugs and with overt gangs drugs. There are crime roles with a whole bunch of families, foreign and domestic, associated with the places in Rocky Hill, associated with CCSU, and with a Rod Rodriguez, and with people involved with a Scalora family and a Cololo family. Recorded the Scalora families recorded confessed involved with a number of federal crimes with people inside the Trade Center attack context leading up to it, and then since with the investigators too, also with predicate acts involved with that, with this Leahy family, a bunch of federal criminals and their family members associated as defendants of former director of the FBI Robert Luskin. These are also people associated with natures of federal crimes with kids in each age, and databases and drugs and things like that on all Fox Connecticut News, and with businesses next to it. There's a person, I don't know if it's his real name, I don't know what his name. I never had a verbal conversation. He non-verbally demonstrated it was true. He's involved crimes with a whole bunch of people said that confessed, demonstrated, recorded that their crimes through time with the Mendez brothers and with people associated with the clubs downtown Hartford and near Yale, involved with interbranch families, involved with foreign and domestic with medical families. Now these are crime rolls with uses of untimely death spots, uses of medical clicks through time with crime acts rolls with the people associated with the body dumping spots, the businesses and families locations with tied to that. These are foreign and domestic military with predicate acts. There's a Justin Klavinsky, also recorded and confessed, involved with a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of natures of crime with Facebook. They're lying about behavior. These are behavior predators. They're making people see that when they're speaking about they're pretending behavior is a premise, and other constantly. In other words, we have all database relationships involved with it, with an identity of the grounds relationship to actual value progression, discernment, return. AncientGamingSystem.com, YouTube.com /user/Romulus Wall. Call you home now. So we have Facebook, all kind of ways, blocking people, then just kicking people out. And in other words, these are worse than monopoly and online controlling the news criminally, forcing sustained fake care and aggressions with sick people through kids. WFSB is recorded and involved with crimes, recorded and involved with crimes with Highcrest School, further with child sex offenders, with coaching the kids to hide the life progressions of interbranch family members that had roles, crime acts roles and uses of a principal sex offender, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, involved with more associated with that school and other schools, intercities connected, and with houses next to fire departments involved with this. Foreign and domestic cliques with shared policing of stores, like Jerry Kerr and his brother Mike Kerr and Joe DeMoros. There's Joe DeMoros with different names from interest. They're cousins. Then their fathers with the same name. These are people crime acts rolls on off locations with Hartford Hospital. On the crime acts rolls with foreign and domestic families, and all these people tied to CCSU and Trinity College on off it criminally with identity theft, forging names, switching names, people, a whole bunch of people with the name Alicia, more than 5 Alicias, interstates involved, crimes, federal crimes on and off Trinity College, CCSU connected. Then as those are crimes with interbranch family members, people associated with crimes with judges with this. See, these are crimes where they're stealing our identities. They're really, really, real sick. Washington, D.C., Trade Center, a trade center tied intercities, intercampuses through time. So that's why they made confessions I didn't understand from strangers when I was in 6th grade, tied to a whole bunch of things leading up to that. In other words, fake things they're putting in databases, pretending little kids. I don't. God knows what they write in the databases. But these are people that make confessions about that. They're all tied. That's one pattern with it. There was a Rita Schwanke. I never I liked her as a kid, but it was recorded confessed. She was involved with something. She was facilitated as a victim to things involving a Cuddy family, a bunch of Cuddy brothers, as with crimes with other people on off the state prison offices, with database crimes, with retired and standing detectives and police chiefs associated with my town's police chief, with houses in my area criminally involved with kids, with all natures of crimes, crimes of wire crimes, crimes with people, with the rest of the child offenders, with the extended family members like a Phil Collo of someone who came into his cousin came into my grammar school when I went to the same grammar school as the principal child offender. So there were more interbranch police forms and prosecutor families that before they were there, they were involved with identity thefts, pretending things recorded with police. They, like 2 Mendez police interbranch crime acts rolls with child sex offenders, pretending things recorded by police to force that. Identity theft crime acts. There are all kind of crime acts against me. I never had a class with them in my life, never had a conversation with them in my life. They're recorded pretending other as police forms with child sex offenders, already proven and further tied to crimes with them. and with doctors, crimes with their patients and prisoners, and identity thefts, fake conversation with people. As psychologists, they do this because they have various natures of courts with lie progression cover-ups with them, criminal uses of depositions, criminal uses of verbal federal crimes to maintain collusion. That's how they would have a naive fact treatment nature. So we're gonna have to have taught actual how to make to counter all the imposition sustained with fake care and with formally leveraged overt criminal enterprises and private ones in interbranch against North End of Hartford, against areas like in New Haven with a lot of shootings. These are maintained outcomes by the breaching organized crime method that American history is really about. I'm not even a lawyer, but this is recorded. A whole bunch of people associated with a McCord family and with the DeMauro family and with Pandolfs and with the locations on next to the schools and with the Samuel Dix house, Little Red Schoolhouse, houses around the corners from that, and which high schools right there, involved with crimes with doctors and with judges and with various drug cliques interbranch. Also crimes, formal and informal drug crimes, crimes with databases, forging names, switching names of doctors, foreign and domestic in collusion. They're maintained needing to hide lie progressions for the use of each age of fact treatment nature on off campuses from off the grounds of education consciously originally. Tribes A through Z, colonists A through Z, sick. They were forced to fight each other, forced to blame, forced to be fact treatment nature, quality reactions to things, forced only be more and more to be only capable of blaming other things, others, and selves for the justifications of fact treatment nature forced, like with war. Never needed. No, we're in a pathology of infrastructure that was forced with the trade, with the torture and the slavery, the fact treatment nature slavery of our founders. It's no joke to have that not discerned simultaneously with the sickly unequally fact treatment nature torture, not just overt with color, but in that too. That's where they have that. Then they have the white woman make the phrase Uncle Tom. You see, but this was consciously. This was an organized crime method using human fact treatment nature as a nature of volume that they maintained as criminal insidiousness nature consciously made that self-valued. As positive treatment natures can't defend that and not value the real causes of negative value nature progressions, action natures blamed on other causes, things themselves since semi-ancient times. And that invested with an as market positions forced for this, there and here, sickly forced, sickly distinctly everywhere. And everyone not knowing how to blame this, they blame other things, others themselves. That's not just to keep saying that. That's unceasingly. This is a value progression system that these market positions are just in. They are semi systems. And this is the only complete one, and that's the only complete one that reveals evolution's fruits and gifts. It means one way redeems. I'll read the Santa Claus. It has more practical application than what you all call practical reason. You think Immanuel Kant, who's famous for this, one of the people famous for this phrase, think he had free speech? He did not. How could he have free speech? Return to spot, the revolution rounds. The native drum your pounds. Religion train. Pick one name in sequence. Branches fall. Fall below the wall. YouTube.com/user/Romulus Wall. I'll hear you all. Respond. Follow mandate's course. I've asked you nice, I'll drop the force. Box sings. It tells us things. Behold. Wow. Behold. Begin. Behold. Auza Bala Bismillah. Begin. Behold. See, the Trinity in Allah's name, this is about, like, why do you think Islam had to defend Arabic? We would have lost this for what brought Europe into the Dark Ages. Islam helped bring, it fought against people that were fighting under the name Christianity, but it was everyone fighting against everyone. It was forced, grouped nations fighting against grouped nations, forced there and here, all roles with what was sickly distinctly, what was sickly non-distinctly, forced bond of modern nation as the phenomenon of what became modern nations, bonded specifically to defend that. It causes negative value nature progressions, acts in nature. The Campus Martius has been criminally re-engineered since before the time of modern of modern religion's messengers' births. Greatly about this, greatly about how that the human fact treatment nature is affected by that. No science pure. There's one identity, not only that the sciences share, but it is active differentially, sequentially, in demonstration to us of its identity and nature of science using the volume, the nature of volume we are. Not using this position. They didn't even free the position. So how are they going to do that? So ancient gaming system, we take identity of the ground positions and counter positions. Positions like, then we could vote on any of the counter positions, but positions like English was revealed before the birth of modern messengers of modern religions. Thank God for them. Preservation to what is alpha and omega with the course of English about this, the identity the sciences share. About this, about how the language is individually grouped and together. Those sounds have an identity of language, of the identity of relationship to it, themselves revealed. Not invented, English. They revealed that, and how the other languages like Latin laws mended to the value of English wording laws for a reason. See, but there are proofs that we need Arabic statutes too, not to take away from our rights, not to take away from our value, to liberate it. We never had real science speak for us. We don't even have free speech unless we're amended a criminal and seditious nature or positive respected. Premise treatment's no good. Sequence shifts. Active value, body of value treatments simultaneously. This is how we are the nature of volume. YouTube.com/user/Anthony Wall. I mean, no, that's not my YouTube channel. I'm sorry. YouTube.com/user/Romulus Wall. My name is Anthony Wall, aka Romulus. Romulus, I'm gonna show you. Romulus is a scientific value. That's the position that's one of the positions we're gonna take as the ancient gaming system, as an auto creator of it. Another position we're gonna take, that's the individual nature of volume. The individual nature of volume is inseparable from the smallest finite detail, especially in regards when we're talking about it where it is subject value, where it is invisible but still discernible value. Because everything's about this invisible but still value/value nature relationship that all values have to values completes nature's complete relationship to itself, which will discern, is discernible. And they discern this in semi-ancient times, before modern religions, greatly about this. This is about the organized crime that stole the Campus Martius, that was revealed by a species valuing how we are the nature of volume, because they revealed when you're valuing how we value the nature of volume as a science, that's the science of evolution. And it only works with the ground. Doesn't leave out the ground. All pound, the native drum. The means be calm. Just admit forgiveness was for this. Now I'll gather round, I'll sit. I've answered all. I'll build the wall. YouTube.com/user/Romulus Wall. Please like and share this video. Please take a position. Just know that if you take they take aggressive positions at the same time, simultaneously. This is what they're doing to you, America, nations. They're forcing you to ignore. Oh, they say, "Oh, love your neighbor." These are identity theft rackets. These are people that need to pretend passions because they need to pretend they knew you in the past because they're in narratives that pretend to little kids to fake locations. Worse, through time we have this problem. Time! Control your mind. Don't be afraid, though. Remember, I hurt you. Someone respond. Someone don't be a coward, because we have them too. Interbranch. Now they're needing to hide lie progressions. Every time I talk, they need to fear and writhe. Because they did that themselves. They made things up about me. They attached me with all the way from the former director of the FBI down with his federal criminal co-defendants involved with him, crimes my father beat them in an LRB case. Now, see, a Leahy families recorded and confessed having fake conversations with me. They pretended with others that forging names, switching names as doctors. Whoever knew, these are people with drug clicks interbranch, men and women, judges, and people involved with the courts, forging names, switching names with the various natures, intercities, private and regular police forms, foreign and domestic families involved with them criminally, all kinds of fake witnesses, interbranch family members criminally involved with that too, because they were affected to this as victim predators per this method using the child abuses, criminal uses of intercampuses of each age, intercity. How connected? Everyone missed this. Tribes A through Z, colonists A through Z, American citizens A through Z, modern nations A through Z missed this. These lifts, it gives. Santa Claus will soon be read. Believe. Who disbelieves? Pick one name in sequence. We need a formal response. See Renaissance. Facebook is recorded and involved with a long because they're behavior crimes. These are people lying about the behavior of others. When they say, "Well, act on gun legislation," they're just forcing people to act with pseudo positive. All they need to do is follow mandated law and see a conversation of integrity is revealed. Then we're going to see the business locations around Fox Connecticut News. Bad people with them. State systems, forging names, switching names. Whole bunch of people, fake doctors, fake conversations with me. I don't even know what they look like. Associated with family members working at the colleges. These are people with Social Security, putting people on there criminally. These are people involved with child offenders. Fear! They're lying about behavior too. We're going to see. We're going to counter this aggression. Facebook is very, very criminally involved here. And with markets positions, with a nature and method of fact-cheaping nature torture, of fact-cheaping nature hostage, of the value of Hartford, Connecticut, let alone New York City. We're going to play this game now. The ancient gaming system. We're going to take positions and counter positions because there are sick criminal creeps with psychology, with badges and guns that are involved, foreign and domestic, here and there, sick fakes with the policing of everything, with lie progressions from this. Hartford, bro, get ready, bro. We're Fox Connecticut News. So we have houses on Two Route Highway, on and off Two Route Highway, recorded confessed involved with identity thefts. I barely know them. They need to pretend other now because they were used for sequence shifts with whole misprision groups. That's one of the things they do to make that self-value. The identity of correlation nature. Worse than obfuscated. Fake middles, delusions. I'm going to delineate the delusions from the criminal foreign influence of your branches, America. Well, I tell you, what color was put there by? We're going to discern the organized crime method on this nation. Same one on other modern nations. We share this to counter here and now. Yallah. Law must allow. Fake branches fall. The wall. YouTube.com/user/Romulus Wall. Respond. Someone like and comment to my thing. As they say, humanity pray.